ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We're still in our round of 8 here. Lincoln female lawyer Johnston up against Cilmi here. I believe they're one apiece. Not 100% sure. We're just jumping into this game to try and get some more content as we go. I think one of their previous games was delayed. So we'll jump on into this. Lincoln won the last game with his Paladin. And that's where we see this point here. So this is the first time that we've seen Cilmi's Shaman in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, I mean, this is, unfortunately, it's kind of been a bit of a schmozzle getting into some of these games, but hopefully we will be able to cast out the rest of this best of 5 and then jump straight into the semi-finals and then pretty much straight away into the grand finals as well. So hopefully there won't be any long pauses like what we've just had, but we don't know. I mean, that's just kind of up in the air at the moment, but it looks like at the moment Knife Juggler coined out for Lincoln, which, I mean, he really would not have been happy with that play, I'm sure, because you definitely don't want to be seeing your Knife Juggler get traded into by a zombie chow, especially when both of you are sitting on 30 HP. But still, the zombie chow are going to be taken off the board there for Lincoln Johnston. Well, taken away from the board there. And Lincoln Johnston now has only got an Annoyatron to deal with. He's going to have to use his hero power. No other sort of option available for him. Obviously, mana constraints were there. And now this is really ramping up into a nice sort of curve here for Cilmi. The power mace is going to really be able to proc on that Annoyatron. Obviously, it is a mech. Hopefully, you would expect for him at least, he'd be hoping that the Annoyatron survives, but looks like actually he's going to go for maybe a little bit of a slower route, looking towards that totem.
A nice totem as well. You always enjoy getting the old taunt totem. There are certainly worse ones. I'm always a bit of a fan myself. Just a little bit of security. Probably feeling pretty safe here.
Yep.
3 turns in, and with those 2 taunts on the board, we have a look at Lincoln. It is his 3rd turn here, so there's not huge amounts he can do. Probably this is the best play he can make. Now, turn 4, obviously he has his True Silver Champion that he can use here as well. So that's what he's playing towards at the moment, that turn 4 play. But the longer it takes for him to get any sort of substance on the board, the easier it is going to be for Cilmi here, who is pulling further and further ahead.
Yeah, looking at the board control at the moment, you definitely have to say Cilmi in a good position. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't pull the Power Mace out on turn 3. I think that would have been maybe stronger than this Taunt Totem, and obviously now doesn't have the opportunity to use it really because there is no mech on the field anymore. So I guess this is going to go straight into a Sludge Belcher turn 5, unless he top-decked something, which he actually doesn't. So yeah, I would definitely be putting out that Sludge Belcher in no time.
Turn 5 Sludge Belcher. What a surprise, says nobody.
Yep.
Down to 25 HP. Lincoln here pulling up an equality. He can safely use his True Silver here, knowing that he has another one. But there isn't any really
target, yeah,
there isn't anything really of value. He could hit into the Sludge Belcher, but not take it out. He could equality and take it down, but it's still going to leave a pretty difficult field. That's still, he's still going to have three minions to go against here. He's going to play equality, leaving him with 3 mana. He's maybe
honestly
hovering.
Like, he has to do something. The worst thing you can do is just basically pass a turn at this stage, because in that situation now, this is really just going to be too much of a snowball to get away. So he has to at least get rid of something off the board here, and I think he's going to go for that Sludge Belcher, which is going to be good for him. Eldor Peacekeeper, again, not going to be a fantastic play, but he may decide to play it anyway, just because that's kind of, you have to have something out on the board.
You've got your 3/3 out. There isn't all that bad. We will see here, obviously the 3/3 can get taken out by a Rockbiter weapon if he so desires. Also, piloted Shredder here. Looks like Rockbiter might go down.
I'd say Rockbiter would be the play of the day.
Eldor Peacekeeper ain't going to be keeping the peace no more as he gets taken out. And a few free hits from those 1 damage minions here as Cilmi starts to pull further ahead again. Sylvanas, nice to have, but there's nothing even here that he wants, is there?
No. Nothing really. I think it's just more of a desperation play, and you can see there's absolutely nothing in his hand really that is going to be useful to him at the moment.
Yeah.
I guess Sylvanas was the best out of all those plays that he could make, but really it does leave a sour taste in your mouth, and he's not getting the draws that he needs on this Paladin, which is really unfortunate at the moment. Earthshock actually surprises me a little bit. I probably would have gone with a Hex. But I guess Cilmi has a better idea than me, actually. In fact, looking to get that Power Mace procced onto that piloted Shredder, which really could seal the deal.
Yeah, that's why the importance of if you think you're going to use your hero power and it's something like a totem or a card draw, you need to be using it at the start of your turn, which is what he did.
Yep.
And he got the spell power and obviously managed to take out Sylvanas there with that +1 spell power to his spell. So, is this Blake? No, it's not Sea Dog. Probably should go back to
Do not disturb.
to Busy that we just messaged a few people to get them onto our friends list earlier. Yeah, let's see how we go here.
I mean, you kind of have to play True Silver. And I would almost say you have to play Big Game Hunter, but knowing that there's a Neptune on there, it would be really soul-crushing to play it now. Yeah, and he's just going to get a Neptune onto the face now, basically, and there's not going to be anything he can do about it. I would drop this Neptune on, really, even though it's not necessarily the most fantastic of plays. You could put that Pilot Shredder down, get a Totem, but I think you drop the Neptune on here just as a bit of a BM and try and get under the skin of your opponent. Maybe say, I'm sorry. Just to get that kind of mental game going, which can be kind of important, especially in the later kind of stages when things start to actually matter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's especially if this isn't the final game in the series, which we don't think it is. We think this might be game number 3, not 100%, but fingers crossed because it could be some more interesting games coming out of this one with Lincoln having the possibility of picking a class to take on the Shaman. Neptune coming out. Wow, look at all those Murlocs. Wow, nice voiceover, Elfish.
Okay, there you go. That's the only voiceover you're going to get out of me. You tried Taz Dingo. There we go. All right, old Murkai is actually a pretty decent pickup for him in this situation. I mean, anything, I guess, is a decent pickup when you're 7 HP left on your opponent's board. So things are pretty much over now for Lincoln, I would imagine. I cannot see a way for him to get out of this.
Yeah, I think he is.
He does have Lay on Hands, which...
It's nice. It's a nice
it's
card.
Nice, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I would be surprised.
Unless he somehow magically draws 2 Innovates and... I don't know.
We have a look at the board. There's 7, 8, 15 damage, there's 15 damage on the board. He doesn't know there's a Bluegill Warrior. And that is going to be that, ladies and gentlemen. He does also have old Merc Eye as well. And going to pick up that game there, which we suspect perhaps is...
Game 3 out of 5?
Yeah, Game 3. I think it is probably Game 3 out of 5. And if that is the case, then we will get to see another game. We'll have a quick look here. Do we have our other results, I think? Let's have a look in there. So, I'm So Brad, which we saw picked up.
3-2 against
Dan's is the game that we watched before.
Yep.
And I think Victoria and Devil Dog are currently playing their semi-finals. So we're going to...
keep watching this one.
Yeah, we will be watching this to see who the winner is and then who moves on to the semi-finals up against I'm So Brad, who I'm pretty sure must be undefeated
I think
today.
he actually is, yeah.
Yeah. The closest he got to losing was obviously dropping a couple of games.
2 games there.
Yeah, so we'll see if these guys are back in their preparing to battle. I think that indicates to us that they do have one more game left.
At least one more.
Yeah.
Not sure the score. It would be really nice to actually know that, but unfortunately, that's not how it's going to be.
No, one day.
One day, I mean, things will get a lot smoother as we continue to do this. This is obviously the first Cybergamer Hearthstone tournament that has been run, so things are kind of still in the works that we're trying to sort out how the best way to run these sort of things
Cyanide is still new to card game competition tournaments, which is why obviously we're starting off with a free tournament.
Yep. Don't want to mess anyone up with money.
No money issues here. So Anything that comes out of this will obviously make the next one better. Have a sit down if there's any issues there. But, Swiss into top 8, very much enjoyable. It looks like Cilmi is back into the next game here with Lincoln Johnston. And we'll jump over and we'll see if we can spectate both of these crazy kids. We'll get into the game. We'll get some volume. And for Doomhammer, for Dr. Boom, more like it.
For Dr. Boomhammer.
Yeah, exactly. Lincoln has picked the Durid. Durid is for friend and is for fight. And here, he's to save the day. I don't know if he saved it perhaps to the end.
Yeah.
As he's like his
trump card.
Yeah, exactly.
He did go, the first game we casted today, he went 2-0 with the Druid. So, he's obviously an accomplished Druid player. And as we've been talking about all day, we have seen it be one of the stronger stronger decks of the day. So, this is not a fantastic starting hand here for Cilmi. Does have the Annoyatron, which isn't too bad. And, of course, can get through the early game a little bit better with those taunts. With the, obviously, the taunt totem. But the other totems as well are going to be helpful. But, things are, probably a bit too high on the mana curve for what Cilmi would have liked.
Yeah, not the ideal
that is a
first
good draw.
turn. Power Mace is very nice, especially with an Annoyatron on the board, assuming he still has one when that Death Rattle does go off. It can be quite beneficial, quite a good play. We'll see Wrath here just for 1 damage and a draw of a card. Does pop that Divine Shield. We will see Wild Growth coming out.
Alright, I think probably would coin the Piloted Shredder out here, if I'm honest. The Power Mace is good, but there's no target for it. You don't really want to be using it on the face at this point in the game. There is obviously opportunities to use the weapon on the face, but typically you want to be taking out minions with it, especially considering the amazing value that you usually get out of those weapons. Senjin Shieldmaster, pretty much one of the best plays he could have had there for turn 4, and especially considering there's a Sludge Belcher coming up on turn 5 for Lincoln Johnston, I would imagine.
When isn't there a Sludge Belcher?
Yeah, I think probably we've seen more Sludge Belchers than anything else today.
Yes, turn 5 Sludge Belcher into turn 7 Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
Is traditionally how you play Hearthstone. It is evident today.
Welcome to the meta, guys.
Yep.
Alright, I think now you'd be going Power Mace and hitting with the Piloted Shredder. That said, you could drop the Piloted Shredder and that's that card that we were talking about, the Hunter one, where you can target the hero, target anything with your hero power.
So he should be able to summon a random totem. He should be able to turn into a totem, shouldn't he?
turn the Senjin into a totem. Don't think it works like that.
That's what it says. Wow. Ripped off.
Alright, we get a free card draw off that Manatide totem here, and I don't think there's any way that can kill it here. Of course, you're going to be able to silence it with the Keeper. Probably a good play there, honestly. You don't want to be letting a Shaman get too many draws, because Shaman can really start to snowball pretty heavily with those card draws.
Alright, so the decision here is, what do we do with our 5 mana? Again, Sludge Belcher is often the go-to, but there can be some more aggressive plays that we might see trying to push that advantage that he already has, Jordan. So, Sludge Belcher, easy solution. Power Mace into Haunted Creeper or even Totem. Not terrible either, I suppose. Going to clear that up, keep the board as it is, but nothing substantial down there at the moment.
Yeah, no mechs on the board either for Cilmi. So the Power Mace, probably we're going to see that held off until whenever Cilmi can drop down a mech so that it can make full use of that Death Rattle. But having said that, maybe he wants to remove this Senjin Shieldmaster with a Fire Elemental and the Power Mace and just completely forget about that Battle Cry, the Death Rattle rather. He does have another Power Mace here, so I reckon he'll probably just go for the Fire Elemental, get that board control, and of course put a bit more pressure on Lincoln Johnston's face with the Creeper.
Yeah, just starting to get that nice board presence. We can have here Big Game Hunter, Sludge Belcher, a Black Knight. That is a Wild Growth Mind Control tech, interestingly enough. Druid of the Claw, and that's Calthazard over in the end, getting out towards the time when this hand of Cilmi is going to start to pull ahead, perhaps. Lots of good cards in Lincoln's hand, but I don't think there's enough that can turn it around.
Yeah, I think you probably play the Sludge Belcher here and try to get a Mind Control tech off, because not a lot of people really tend to play around the Mind Control tech. It's not something you tend to be thinking about, and especially considering it's not the most commonly played card as well. You might have to pray a little bit to the RNG gods for a Fire Elemental, probably off that Mind Control tech.
You definitely want a Mana Tide Totem that doesn't actually do anything.
But I think that's probably the best choice here. Of course, that'll do the same job as well. Might attack the face of Cilmi here, just for that little bit of extra damage. Alright, let's see. What is Cilmi going to do here? He can clear this board pretty easily, but is he going to put down another minion? If he puts down Neptulon, and then that gets mind controlled, that or Fire Elemental would be a pretty good result for Lincoln. The other two, you'd think you'd probably getting into concede territory with that.
Yeah, he can Power Mace into Rockbiter, which will let him clean up the Druid of the Claw. If he does play more minions, he's playing... Lincoln right now is going, please just play something big.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be the Fire Elemental combo, so it's probably a 50-50 chance here, I guess you could say.
It would definitely be a 50-50 chance. We'll see. 8 mana. Does he want to play Mind Control Tech now? It's probably now or never.
Oh.
And he will.
That's not
I'm
good.
sorry. Right now you can see the just
see
the
the
delay
tears.
between playing that card and the reaction to the next card.
Yeah.
Flame Tongue Totem, quite useful in and amongst itself. Quite a lot you can do, even if you. It's one of the. I'm just trying to think what the best Flame Tongue play is. You've got 3 damage there with your Haunted Creeper with a Flame Tongue.
Flame Tongue Power Mace the Sludge Belcher, just so that you don't put too much damage onto your Fire Elementals.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could Power Mace the Slime after you kill a Sludge Belcher with your Fire Elemental, then use the Flame Tongue to get rid of the Mind Control tech, which I think is probably a little bit stronger. Of course, then you can also play a Totem and see if you can get a Healing Totem. Try and heal that Fire Elemental up a little bit.
Healing Totem's always handy when you are low on life. So we'll see here. He has
a lot of options still.
Yeah, he does have a lot of options. He's certainly not starved for choices at the moment. We're not 100% sure what he's going to play. Looks like the Power Mace, which you were discussing just earlier, the order was a little bit different to what perhaps we thought originally, but you maintain that this is perhaps quite a good play.
This is quite a good play, and actually using up all of his mana available and putting down that Sludge Belcher, which is going to mean the Mind Control tech is not going to be able to do any damage really anywhere anyway. So a good play coming out from Cilmi, and actually quite impressed by the way he's been playing. He or she, don't know how they've been playing. Been making some quite good decisions, and a lot of the times decisions that were not immediately the first thing that your head would probably jump to.
Lincoln, on the other hand, is
in a bit of trouble.
He's in a bit of trouble. Yeah, not necessarily played poorly. Just it just
yeah.
hasn't worked out in his way, to be honest.
The cards have not been in his favor. I don't think he believed in the heart of the cards, so to speak.
No, he has not had the favor of the card RNG gods today. Sludge Belcher here. He's considering Black Knight, I suspect, onto that Sludge Belcher. Leave him with the 1-2.
Yeah, still not a fun situation at all. I think maybe the Ancient of War would have been a better choice in this situation, but he didn't know what kind of removal Cilmi had, and of course, yeah, the Earthshock probably would have been pretty strong against that Ancient of War.
Yeah. For sure. So, we have a look at the board.
13 on the board.
Yeah.
Plus potential for another 4 off the Flame Tongue Totem is 17. Still not enough for the victory. It'll be 20 if you include the power mace. So still lacking 2 damage for the victory here is Cilmi.
But he's getting pretty close. However, he's getting down on life points here. 17 HP, heading towards below 50% health. Look, he's in a pretty good position, but I think the question he's asking himself here is, do I go for board or do I go for face?
I think you probably go for board. Really,
I think you would.
You would play safely. Maybe you can play a Flame Tongue Totem and Neptulon, or I think, okay, that really worked out well for him. The totem, what he wanted was that heal totem, because now he can put the Fire Elemental into that Black Knight, or actually could just kill that one.
Okay.
So I guess probably would have been better to just play the Neptulon then over that totem. But oh well. Still going to be working out pretty well for him, I think. He does still have the huge amount of board control.
Massive board control.
The only way out here really for Lincoln would have been an Azure Drake top decking a swipe, but unfortunately that was not to be.
He's got 10 mana. He's got enough cards in hand, 6 to be exact, but there's not really any great plays. Like, Big Game Hunter is out. Kalthazar doesn't do much in this situation. You have an Ancient of Law. Like, you can bump yourself back up, but you will probably just end up seeing you guys die to a combination of creatures and Flame Tongue Totem. So it's just not great, is it?
Yeah, I think you have to Wild Growth here and see what you can get out of it. Be praying for something, but that's not what he wants, and this is just going to get silenced, and that will be probably the game, will it? Yeah, 9, 10, 13. Yeah, definitely going to be the game here coming out, and Cilmi going to go 3-1 up in
Yes.
the round, so going to be moving on to the semi-finals, and